In this lesson, we will talk about advantages and disadvantages of the BioWell technology. Let's start from positive and advantages of the technology. Well, first of all, there are multiple technologies that allow you to see many parameters of the human body and make interpretation of chakras, nervous centers, brain activity, stress level, stamina, whatever. There are many parameters, energy levels, or organs and systems, yin, meridians, many of them. So one of the main competitors for us is the HRV technology, heart rate variability. But what is the main advantage of the BioWell in comparison with all these technologies is that, number one, this is the fastest technology to do the measurement. In fact, in order to make the full scan, for example, need only 15 seconds. That's it. Because the only time I spend is just changing the fingers. So scanning all 10 fingers takes me within 15 seconds. Well, if I have to redo and rescan some fingers, maybe 20 seconds. That's it. No other technology is able to do this kind of full scan with calculation of multiple parameters within this period of time. So number one advantage is the speed. So BioWell is one of the I would say, fastest technology with this amount of information provided on this planet for now. This gives other advantages. For example, of course, in order to get more information about the person, to verify the data, you have to repeat the scans, right? And we will discuss it later about repeatability and stability and variability of the results. But with BioWell, it's not a big deal because you can repeat 3 times within a minute, not a problem. So you just make 3 scans within 1 minute, you can do 6 scans within 2 minutes, and then see the variability of results. Also a good thing, knowing that even in the device that measures your blood pressure, it is recommended to repeat the measurement 3 times in a sitting position and 3 times in standing position, and only then make some conclusions. You see how much time it will take to do the full measurement with that device? With the BioWell, it's much faster, right? Well, when we talk about HRV, one measurement may take from 2 to 5 minutes. So, of course, in order to repeat it multiple times, it will take you dozens of minutes. So, of course, it will be harder to integrate this into your practice. You will have to rely on single scan sometimes, which is not so reliable in some cases. Another advantage, also very big one, is that with the BioWell, you get raw information, unprocessed. What I'm talking about the actual images, because BioWell is about photography. So what we process are photographs. And of course, if we open the initial original image, that is grayscale, we can remove the sectors from it. This is what our software works with, the actual photograph. And of course, this is the objective data. It's not subjective, it's objective. And even if you do not look at any parameters in the software, but you know where the sectors are, you can still do some interpretation just by comparing the emission in different sectors on different fingers without any calculation of parameters. So the raw data like that, we are applying coloring regime like that in order to make it more convenient for the eyes to work with our software. But still, it's non-processed data that you can rely on, and you can always double check. If software tells you that, for example, in sector number 4, for example, the energy is heightened, and you can clearly see that's quite higher, the thickness of the glow is higher than, for example, in comparison with the cerebral zone sector. Here it's more narrow, here it's thicker. It's obvious, you can see just with your own eyes without any calculations. Of course, number of pixels is bigger there, and you can see by the area C and the energy C parameters here that the emissions are different. So it means that the interpretation will be different, and so forth. So this is the second big advantage of the BioWell technology. Well, of course, we can talk about other advantages that it is tested. There are multiple PhDs, more than 50 made worldwide in different spheres, by the way. And there are multiple hundreds of different research and scientific papers published in different journals, multiple books written on the topic of the BioWell and GDV technology. But, well, we have those certifications that it's safe and to use this, etc. But many other technologies also have these papers published, books written, etc. So these are the main advantages of the technology. So this amount of data that we provide, the Ayurvedic approach, the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine approach, well, all of them, different types of approaches that we try to combine in our software, like integrative dentistry, because we have teeth program, the vertebra, the lifestyle approach, because life coaching is quite popular nowadays. All of that is in one software, and you have it all in one app. Now let's talk about disadvantages. Well, of course, any technology has limitations and disadvantages. Well, one of the biggest disadvantages, we can call it, is that our technology is based on acupuncture point system. Well, why it is a disadvantage? Some of you may disagree with this statement, but the thing is that WHO has already accepted the existence of acupuncture points. There were theses and papers published by WHO stating that these kind of acupuncture points, they exist and they really have some specific properties in comparison with the rest of the surface of the body, for example. And but still, there are many doctors who are still saying that no, acupuncture points, that's some nonsense. But it's not the main problem. The main problem here is that we can do the analysis. We can see that the information on this finger correlates with the functional state of some organ or system. That's fine. But the problem is that nobody until now can tell you for sure how the information from the liver gets to the middle finger. So there is no proven and accepted in the world theory that will explain how the information signals are being transferred. There are some articles, papers about those meridians or some specific channels that may potentially transfer this information, but still it's something at the edge of the science and unknown. So until now, there is no straight and strict accepted worldwide explanation how the information from organs and systems from different nervous centers gets into your fingertips. By what means? We know that it's there, right? But we don't know how it gets there. Well, it's fine. It's a disadvantage, we can call it, because we don't have the explanation. But this is how the science evolves in this sphere. First, we observe some phenomena, and people try to understand how it works. Then they start using it, and then they start to try to understand how it works in order to reproduce, because usually all the phenomena that humankind try to use is they are taken from nature. So we observe them, we try to reproduce them, and then we try to understand how it all works, right, to be able to reproduce it. So here, under the influence of high voltage, high intensity, short impulses, we are able to extract electrons from the conductive material, well, fingers in particular. But how does the information get there? No exact information. We know that there are correlations are there between healthy and unhealthy, fit, non-fit person. It's there, but how does it work? There is no strict explanation. Well, second big and actual disadvantage is because of beauty. Big amount of patients who come to different therapists are women, and they have their manicure and long nails. And unfortunately, with the BioWell and GDV technology, we are limited to scanning only fingers and fingertips. And of course, if the nail is too long, it will be impossible to put it inside the BioWell device. Even though with the Biwell 3 there is an extra space there on top of the glass, so you can put the finger and there is some extra space there for nail, still it's a limitation because some nails are not straight but they can be curvy, and it will be impossible to put the finger without touching the electrode with the nail, and the nail will potentially spoil the scan. So this is, from my perspective, the only and the biggest disadvantage that Biwell technology has. And well, let's look at it not like a limitation, but like a business opportunity and proposal that any female client, before they come to Biwell scan and consultation, they cut the nails, and right after the Biwell scan, you give a whoosher with the 20% discount or manicure session. Also a business opportunity. So these are the main disadvantages of the technology. And you should understand that the technology and the Biwell software itself doesn't make any interpretation. It doesn't give you conclusion and diagnosis. No. Biwell is just an independent, neutral scanner. It shows you the glow as it is and tells you if it's too much glow or not enough glow. That's it, nothing else. What does it mean? Biwell doesn't know. It's your job and it's your responsibility to make the interpretation. That's why we call Biwell an experts-dependent system. It needs an operator, expert, who knows how to do the interpretation and who knows how to do some analysis and conclusions based on the scanning results in the field of traditional Chinese medicine and energy meridians, in dentistry, in vertebrae, etc. So in lifestyle, so if you are a lifestyle coach, a life coach, so you need to have knowledge in some of these fields. If you are a psychotherapist, then you will use the nervous centers, chakras, and stress energy balance parameters in order to make interpretation. But you need to have your own knowledge, your education, in order to do this interpretation. Biwell will not do it for you. It just provides you the values and you make the conclusions yourself. One more thing I want to add about the acupuncture points systems, why it is still a disadvantage, is because there are too many acupuncture points systems in this planet, and in some cases they contradict each other. So for example, we have Yin Yang program that is based on TCM, and in TCM there are only 6 meridians on hands and 6 others are on feet. But Biwell is based on Sujok, the Korean system, where all these organs are present on hands. So there is a straight contradiction. And that's why some people and some doctors still do not trust the acupuncture points, because there are still contradictions. There is Tibetan system, Chinese system, Indian system, Korean system, New German system, so many systems. And they do not coincide completely. That's why there are so many. And unfortunately, it brings this kind of non-scientific flavor to this topic of acupuncture points. But we are based on pure empirical knowledge, the practical results that we have accumulated through decades. And that's why we show only those things that we know. And that's why Biwell is some kind of a platform that unites all these different approaches. We have a Yin Yang program, and it unites Sujok with the Chinese medicine. And we have Ayurvedic approach there too. So the Biwell is some kind of a meeting platform that tries to bridge all these different systems and different approaches to find where the truth lies, actually. Why do we scan actually fingers? There are so many other places on our body where you have those acupuncture points. In fact, we have a lot of acupuncture points on your ears, on feet and toes, all over on the face, etc. But you see that fingers on the hands are the easiest part of the body to operate and to put somewhere, and we wash them more frequently than any other part of the body. So as long as it is photography, we have to keep the lens clean. So the easiest way to wash hands is much easier, and we do it much more frequently than anything else. But there are 2 more reasons why we do exactly fingertips, what makes them special from all the rest of the body. Number one, on our fingertips is the highest density of blood vessels. They're very small, but this is the highest density. It means they are very informative. Whatever happens, it's there. And second is that on the fingertips we have the highest density of sweat glands. So again, any type of stress factor, any kind of influence on you, the endocrine system and lymphatic system also will show it on your fingertips. And that's what makes them so informative, even from the anatomic point of view. So that's why we use specifically fingertips, not some other parts of the body. That's it for this lesson. I hope I was clear enough, and see you in the next one.